Okay, so getting up and moving again. Definitely punchy with that turbocharged engine. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be going over the all-new Mazda CX-5 Turbo. This is the CX-5 you should go for. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Mazda here in Southern Utah for giving me some time with the CX-5. Check out the info in the description down below. And if you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Jake. And then also on a side note, if you save time and money the next time purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter four-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 227 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood here, you guys can see that it's flat there in the center and then it kind of goes off on either side. And look at those sharp lines, it looks good. And then coming down below, you guys can see how the grille is all blacked out, and then you have those little red accent points. I'll give you guys a closer view in just a moment. We've got the cool LED daytime running lights there with the headlights, and yeah, this thing just looks sinister. So here's a closer view of those red accent pieces. And then when you put it all together, I dig the front end of the new CX-5, especially with this package. Come around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 225, 55, 19 in the front and in the rear. And then notice how the wheels are all blacked out with this package. We also have these really cool blacked out fender flares. Notice the trim there at the bottom also blacked out, and the mirror cap. And when you put it all together, this thing looks so cool. I don't understand why they have that chrome trim piece right there, but that's an easy fix. Vinyl wrap and you're all good to go. So here is our key fob. You guys can see Mazda logo right there. We have our lock function, unlock function opening here for the hatch, and then the alarm button. But let's pop that right open. Popping inside here, you guys can see tons of storage space behind the second row, which is a big benefit of the CX-5. And then we do have this little carpet we can lift up, and spare tire just underneath. And then if you guys are wondering, these latches are to throw down the seats. If you press this button right here, this will actually slow lower the hatch right back down. Really cool taillights here with the CX-5. I love kind of like the almost like three-dimensional appearance. And then you've got all of your regular badges here on the back as well. And then you guys can see down below how the trim is like blacked out right there. And then we've got the exhaust tips on either side. And then when you put it all together, I think that this new turbo package looks really good with the CX-5. Now popping inside, this is where things get really cool. So you can see we've got this nice contrasted stitching, and then notice that down below it's actually red with this turbo package. And then you got your window control right there, pretty normal stuff. I like this trim up here though, that is neat. And then the seats continue that theme. So again, you've got the red stitching, notice perforated in the center portion of the seat as well. Legroom here in the back of the CX-5 is actually pretty good. Storage pocket right there. And we've got some vents right next to it. And if you're wondering, headroom's also pretty good back here. And then we have the cup holder armrest situation. We do have heated seats on top of that, and then we got some more storage. Notice the keyless entry. So you guys can see here, look at the stitching again at the top and then down below with all the padding, and that contrasted stitching looks fantastic. All of our window controls right here with a door lock and unlock, then the mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. They also have blind spot monitoring, which is pretty cool. And then taking a look at the front seat right here, you can see again with the fact it's perforated in the center, and then you got all of that red stitching. We've got our memory seat function here on the side, and then all of our power adjustments. Got our gas cap release and then our hood release right there, and then up above you guys can see here for the hatch, and then your lane departure. Really nice leather wrapped steering wheel here, and yes, we got more red contrasted stitching. This comes with adaptive cruise control. We got paddle shifters here on the back for that 6-speed automatic. Voice command phone controls, volume controls, controls for the center stack as well. Turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. Here's our gauge cluster, and first off, you guys can see it can scroll through a bunch of different info there in the center, which, I don't know, I think is pretty cool. But the fun party trick with this is our drive mode select. So notice we have a cool animation when we pop into different drive modes. So you got like a sport mode, you got normal, and then you have an off-road mode as well. Now in reverse, you guys can see we've got a backup camera right there with trajectory lines, and resolution is pretty solid. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's all controlled via a dial, and you know, it does take a second to get used to, but once you get used to it, pretty dang intuitive, and I would say overall definitely easy to use. We've got nice soft touch all over the dash. You can see the stitching that goes across too, and then look at that trim right there. Now down below you guys can see heated steering wheel. We've got dual zone climate controls, heated and cooled seats as well. Wireless phone charging pad here, and then you can see the little charging port right next to it. We've got our shifter for that 6-speed automatic, and it does again have that manual shift function. We've got our drive mode select right next to that, and then down below we've got our analog control for the infotainment system, radio control, parking brake, and then your auto hold function. Here is the center console, so really cool with the cable thread throughs, and then you can see your nice red stitching there on the top, and then a couple of cup holders. Seriously, just love the fit and finish with this interior and the overall quality, top notch. And that leads me to the glove box, pretty normal. Now up top we got our control here for the sunroof, and yeah, it's got a sunroof. So here's the window sticker for this CX-5 Turbo. You guys can see pretty much everything is standard equipment. You've got stuff like the paint that's optional equipment, for example. Anyways, total MSRP $38,880. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in the Mazda CX-5 Turbo. And this is the official Turbo because, yes, the Signature is also turbocharged, but this one has turbo in the name, right? First off, seat comfort's actually really good. I think that they've done a good job in terms of just the overall form of these seats. So, good job, Mazda. Love the feeling of the steering wheel. Feels very high quality, and that's one thing that really kind of described the interior on the Mazda. It just feels really high quality. Like, fit and finish is great, and so again, another thing that is definitely job well done. Some other stuff, it drives really well. Suspension's actually pretty comfortable. I don't know why this person is like on the walkway. Okay, so getting up and moving again. Definitely punchy with that turbocharged engine. Yeah, it gets up and moves. So we're gonna pop into the sport mode. Got the cool animation for that. And something people ask me about is this 6-speed automatic. It's actually very responsive. I think that Mazda's done a pretty solid job overall with this powertrain, just making it feel pretty cool. And you guys can see here, it's peppy. It gets up and moves. And if you guys paid attention, this thing short shifts, and it's to keep it in the power band. So like you'll notice that redline for this engine is like 6,500-ish RPMs. This thing shifts under 5,000 RPMs. And the biggest reason is because of torque. This has so much torque, and so it's really trying to play on that and just stay in peak torque. It's pretty interesting. I like the experience though, overall. So, setting things up here with the CX-5 Turbo. I think this is the CX-5 to go for. I like Mazda's naturally aspirated engine. It's not bad, but I mean, for me personally, like, I'm okay with spending the extra money and getting this engine. It's so much better, like, especially here at elevation. I'm at, you know, about 40, I think this area in Utah is like 4,100 feet, 4,200 feet elevation. Still, turbocharged engine up here does so much better than a naturally aspirated engine. Like, it's a very big difference. That is for sure. And so, yeah, I think it's worth the extra money. Now to quickly compare this to the Signature, I'd pick this over the Signature. I think this looks better on the outside. I like the interior accenting on this a little bit more, and it's pretty much the same car. It's got like all the same features. So like, why buy the Signature when you can get a turbo that's just cooler? Let me know what you guys think. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this Mazda CX-5 Turbo. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Mazda here in Southtown, Utah for giving you some time with the CX-5. Check out the info in the description down below. I'll see ya.